Hi, good evening, everyone. With me is Dr. Henil Patel, one of the successful candidates for DM Cardiology and ISS October 23. He's got Common Merit List rank 12 and All India AIMS Merit List of 18. And that's a fantastic going because he was preparing as he was doing his residency. I mean, I've been talking to him, and also he's yet to actually get off the duty hours and now has agreed to come to the interview. So, congratulations, Dr. Henil.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this your guidance, constant your guidance throughout this journey of the NEET SS preparation, sir.
So Henil and some of his colleagues have broken the zincs that we Gujaratis cannot actually crack the national level exam. And again, I mean, a lot of students have been doing very pretty well, and Henil is no lesser than them. So congratulations, Henil. So Henil, you did your undergraduation from BJ Medical College,
Yes, sir.
and your post graduation you did from MP Shah Medical
MP Shah
College
Medical College,
at
Jamnagar, sir.
Jamnagar.
Jamnagar.
Yeah. So did you finish your residency? Is finished now? You're doing
Yeah.
post MD?
Yes, sir. My residency has been finished in July 23, sir. Currently, I'm
Okay.
doing senior residency at same place, sir.
Yes. So it was, I think, very enlightening to hear a story about how he prepared. So I want that to be shared by Henil with all our other participants and students who are seeking to crack cardiology in the INISS. So Henil, when you were doing residency, I mean, there are two ways that I've come across with students. One is that they start preparing for the subject of their choice when they know that they want to, for example, pursue cardiology. They will read cardiology topics from the textbook like Grunwald, and they will do the rest of the medicine topics from Harrison. And those who don't know actually go thorough with Harrison, and then in the later part they do it. So, what was your strategy? How did you start preparing? Were you very clear about cardiology to begin with?
No, no, sir. Actually, I was not but bit sure about the super specialty preparation. But while doing the in second and third year, our institute is having the specific cardiac ICU cardiac ICU independent cardiac ICU posting. So that time only I got opportunity to get contact with the cardiac patient. Even our professor used to do the pericardiocentesis and temporary pacing, so it excite us for the join the cardiology department, sir.
So this is one of the example Dr. Henil is mentioning. And Jamnagar Medical College does not have a separate department of cardiology,
Yes,
but has got an ICU which is manned by MD residents and
yes.
by the medicine faculty. They take care of it, and that's how even sectors like these continue to inspire a lot of our next generation cardiologists. And Dr. Henil is one of the example of the same. How intervention actually motivates you, drives you. So, Dr. Henil, after that, you got interested in cardiology. Did you start preparing for Brunwald's textbook and cardiology specific right from second and third year, or were you doing just medicine preparation and then you switched over once you decided that you're appearing for INI that you started preparing hardcore cardiology?
Sir, for general medicine, I have studied thoroughly the Harrison only. But for while while I was in confusing for the any sir cardiac related query. I just open up the Brunwald's in few topics like the arrhythmia. I have sir read thoroughly, and but sir, I have used sir most of your YouTube videos. I have like the DM resident where I used to watch the all the sir clinical case discussion video on the PG Track channel, sir. Of most of your sporters videos, sir. I have seen, sir. That the clinical cardiology, sir, that most excites me for the to join the sir cardiology
Right.
department.
So there are a lot of videos of mine and that are also there free on
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Torals, which Dr. Henel
Yes,
is mentioning. There are free videos about spotters. I mean, that's
sporters.
one video that a lot of times helps. So
Yes,
so you've gone through that. Then how did you realize as to when did you realize that it's not just the video subscription that's important, not just the notes and that the topics that you have covered through, that you started actually practicing cardiology MCQs. I mean, what was your approach? I mean, people say it's antigrade and retrograde, two names to give. That you first read the theory and then start solving the MCQ. The other technique that a lot of students, I was talking to one of the other students again from Gujarat, Chinmay, he had later on realized the retrograde technique. So he would do the MCQ and go back to the theory topics and start reading that from the Brunwald. So, what was your technique, Dr. Henil? How did you start preparing for the MCQ versus the theory part. How was your preparation strategy in
First
that?
I have finished the course from the your lecture videos and from the theory parts and the notes that I have made in my PG residencies. And then after I switched to the Doc Tutorials Q Bank, that helps me to avoid the silly mistake that's most containing the past year questions and the most common like the things and numerical values. I have just noted down in the one separate book, sir. And so before exam, about 10 to 12 days back, I had just revised that's all, sir. Questions and
Yeah, so
answers.
this is one good strategy. So your second revision is of the topics or the questions that you actually don't do right at the first attempt. So that
Yes,
question bank of doc tutorials, which is like 50,000 questions, would be
yes, sir.
filtered down to something like 5,000 or 10,000. That's the number of questions that you need to have a relook. Otherwise, you're gone through with most of the questions. So that's
Yes, sir.
another good strategy of revising.
Rather doing bookmark, I just marked with my own handwriting all the question that I don't know or
Oh,
that I have to know to for future, sir, reference, sir.
okay.
I
So that's a good strategy of highlighting and jotting down the question, because you may not be able to scroll all the questions again in one go. So that's
yes,
one good way of doing it. So, Dr. Henil, you were also part of a WhatsApp group that I run on for the cardiology preparation. How was that interaction on the WhatsApp group interaction with the other students, or the questions that I used to put as poll and people used to answer and then see where you are and then the explanation? How was that helpful? Was it important, especially when you were doing your residency or doing your duty, and you just go through your WhatsApp and actually be still connected and utilize and maximize the time?
sir, while duty, I have just looked up the question and answered that. That times I didn't feel it importance, but while doing some random MCQ, that somehow in our conscious mind, subconscious mind, it was the strike that we have. I have seen that in some group or some WhatsApp message, sir. But since last 2 months, I have just dedicated just by searching the sir, I have just searched trial on your group and I have just note down all the sir important trial just mentioned by you on the WhatsApp group. It was the very useful just before the mock interview and the last minute before exam also, sir. I have just yes, sir.
Right. So I think, yeah, the trials is one important part that is very often asked, not only as an MCQ but
Yes, sir.
also in the mock in
Exam,
the
yes,
interview session. So Henil, coming to interview now that you're mentioning about it, we do a mock interview session which you were part of. So how did that mock interview session help you in preparing? I think you did very fantastically well in your interviews, right? You got what, 15 out of 20? How much was it?
it was around 12, sir. 12 out
Okay.
of 20.
So
Yes,
so you got good marks, and then that helped you actually make up for a lot of important topics that are covered. So how is the mock interview session helpful? We do in a dummy session into the group, and then that adds to the value. How does it help you in preparation? What's most important? I think, does it help you open up and give up the inhibitions that you have, and helps you in achieving the confidence of facing an examiner?
yes, sir. It helps to face confidence for the examiner. And sir, actually, the question were the more or less same kind of question.
Okay.
All just you have sir discussed in the mock interview session. I I remember the two or three just you have discussed in the last session were exact repeat of mine, sir. Two or three questions, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, because I think the how the cardiologists who are into practicing into cardiology, they are updated, will remain almost the same. So the same probably thoughts will come around between somebody who's the examiner there and somebody who's of the same peer group, would actually have those important topics coming in, and that's how I think is something that I end to visualizing as to what the examiners probably would be asking you. And
yes,
it's always a standard format that they ask you. One is about your thesis, one is a stat question, one is
yes,
heart failure, one is a trial, and why you want to do cardiology. Sometimes that's
yes.
another question that we ask. Yeah. So, what is your tip as to how a new student who is listening to your success story, how he should start preparing for cardiology DM, especially for the INISS, or even for that matter, NEET SS preparation for he wants to pursue cardiology in future? How he can balance between the two strategies, and how should he start preparing now onwards?
Sir, during the PG residency days, the we have not much time during the first and second year, but I have thoroughly, sir, read everything, read most of the clinical cardiology part during the during our institute having the case presents. At that time I have almost read all the books and all the any, sir, method to learn the clinical cardiology part. And the for the recent updates and guideline, but I just used your, sir, WhatsApp group for the recent guidelines, because that clinical part is not that, not clinical cardiology book are not come up with the latest guideline and trials regarding. So I have just used the, sir, your guidance only, sir, for the recent guideline and updates regarding, sir, anything, sir.
So, how would you recommend your other future pursuing juniors to prepare with the anti-grade approach or the anti-retrograde approach? And
Sir,
what's your recommendation on
I
joining doc tutorials or choosing me as a faculty, if I can ask?
I Okay, sir. I recommended them to do thorough with the Harrison's cardiology part, and during the second year of the PG residency. Then after he can, during the last time, he can join for the cardiology SS Q bank, the Q banks, and the your, sir, guidance for the further touch of the knowledge of the, sir, further touch of the knowledge, sir. So I would recommend them to join the, sir, Kamal Sharma as a faculty as a cardiologist, as cardiology
Thank
faculty
you.
too. As,
Thank you very much, Hanil. So, how do you rate doc tutorials experience that you had out of 10?
sir, it is 9 out of 10, sir.
And Kamal Sharma as a faculty?
So it's 10 out of 10, sir.
Thank
Because
you.
okay, I have attended your lecture in, sir, UG days also. I
UG days.
remember, yes, sir, you had taken our hard sound lecture, sir. So I
Yes.
remember it from that time only, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Henil, for your kind words. So it must be a party time, and I mean, I'm sure you're contemplating joining Sri Chitra or maybe one of the other premier institutes soon with your rank. I think it's pretty much happening. You are very likely to get one of the other institutes. So, have you enjoyed the time with your family?
Not, sir, I yet to visit the family, sir. Currently, I am
Okay,
currently doing duty, sir.
right. So, any closing comments or tips that you want to give about your preparation strategy?
Sir, I have not much read about the any standard books, but I have during the second year residency I have just extremely read the clinical cardiology parts, but and this year INS paper was so balanced that every from the every part, every system, they have people like the from starting from the investigation part to the ECG, then the clinical cardiology, then investigation and management part. So I have I have almost read the 7 to 8 book on the clinical cardiology part. And the, sir, I have watched almost all videos of the on the, sir, YouTube video of the DM resident case discussion videos. So that helped me a lot in mastering the hemodynamics and case study regarding case study. And also, sir, for recent guideline, I have used some, sir, social media platform. I do also follow you on Twitter, and there also they just discuss any, sir, like the recent guideline or trials, sir. So I just highlight those things, sir. So
So
while,
that was Dr. Henil Patel. Very important tips I think we've got from him. That clinical cardiology, which continues to play a very important part, nearly substantial, 8 to 10% or 15% of questions come. You'll always have one or two questions from JVP, one or two questions from ECG, couple of ischemia evaluation tests. Like there were questions this time on sensitivity, specificity kind of
yes,
stuff for ischemia evaluation. So Henil has brought it out very beautifully that I think it's more important is not that you know every topic, but you should know something about everything and
yes, sir.
everything about something. Those two balances out most of the things that are required for preparation.
Yes,
So, Anil, thank you very much for a wonderful brief interview. And thank you for highlighting and sharing and your belief in us. We always
yes.
are there with you. My best wishes with you, Anil. And I'm always there to guide you and support you in whichever way, wherever you go, and you can always feel free to get connected with me and ask for any guidance that you
Thank
want
you,
in
sir.
that.
Thank you, sir, for constant guidance regard for that journey, sir. Need super
Thank
special.
you, Henil. Congratulations once again. Enjoy your success
Sir.
and take a good break and have fun. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bye
Thank,
bye.
thank you, sir.